Welcome back to I Did This Instead of Killing Myself, a stand-up comedy podcast based in Greenville, South Carolina. My name is David Bakker. It is the week of May 23rd, 2022, and I was rocking sunglasses because it is summer. I think, it's way past. Well, actually, shoot, I don't think the official day of summer is till June something, but summer here, and I'm about to go to the pool. I hope you guys had a good week. I hope you're ready to have another great week. I was in Michigan last week, and I saw some old coworkers that I hadn't seen in some of them I hadn't seen in 8 to 10 years at my company. I won't say the name of it, but it was really special, and I teared up. I saw my first manager, the first woman who hired me. Person who hired me. It doesn't matter that she's a woman. It's great that she's a woman. And, I got all, emotional. And I saw family. I saw my nieces. I don't know. I spent so much time with stand-up thinking, we're the center of the universe, or you are. And you get all the attention on stage and stuff. So it's a good reminder that family's important and those friends are important. Getting all lame and emotional. I don't know. Whatever. But that's what was on my mind, and I wanted to say that. Call your mom. Call your brothers. Call your sisters. Call your nieces. Call your old bosses. It's worth it. But anyway, whatever. Very excited about this week's guest, Christian Williams. Christian is, a new friend of mine. He is a favorite in the Columbia comedy scene. About 2 years ago, well, maybe a year and a half ago, I started going down to Columbia to this fantastic open mic called the Art Bar, hosted by Patrick Fowler. If you want to go down there, you live in Columbia, go check it out. And that was where I first met Christian. And if you go to that mic, you'll see Christian perform. He's easily one of the favorite comics there. You never know what he's going to do. He has a great act that I actually got to see, his full, polished act. But on a Tuesday night, you might see him come out with a boombox, props. I don't even know. Just wild stuff. And he's very funny. And part of how outrageous some of the stuff he does on stage could be explained maybe by his summertime job, because during the summer, Christian is a camp counselor. He works at Trails End Camp in Beach Lake, Pennsylvania. Christian, I hope you don't mind that I actually named it, but hopefully, they deserve a shout out. I Googled it, and Trails End is actually hiring. So if you want to check them out, they're all the way up in Pennsylvania. But he's been doing that for several years. He has a heart for the kids. He's a good dude. And he's a former college basketball player. He played I can't remember if it was D2, D3 basketball. So he's got that ingrained in him. We actually talked about that in our interview. Talked about, because I played college football, and we talked about that, how stand-up relates to sports. Fun. Talked about a bunch of other stuff too. Talked about his camp experience. Just got to know Christian. So really fun interview. Check it out. Follow Christian. Right now, the summer camp has actually started. So Christian is currently at the camp. So you wouldn't be able to see him do stand-up, but he'll be back in a couple months. So check Christian out. He's the man. Really appreciate Christian doing the show. All right, before we get to the interview, though, here's what's going on this week in local comedy here in Greenville, South Carolina. Tonight, Monday, we have Coffee Underground here, downtown Greenville. That open mic starts at 7 o'clock, no charge. Comics get there around 6 or 6:15 to make sure you get on the list. On Tuesday in Asheville, we have the Auditorium open mic. That starts at 9 o'clock. It's hosted by James Herod. DM James, or just show up to get on the list. And also on Tuesday in Columbia, the Art Bar, like Mike I just mentioned, that's hosted by Patrick Fowler. That show starts at around 8:30. DM Patrick, if you're going to drive down. On Wednesday, we have the Radio Room open mic here in Greenville. That show is hosted by Adam Schulte. Starts at 8 o'clock. Message Adam to get on the list. Also on Wednesday in Asheville, we have the Disclaimer open mic. That is It has a variety of hosts. That's right downtown Asheville at the Asheville Music Hall. That show starts at 8 o'clock. Great mic. And just show up early if you're from out of town and sign the host to get on the list. On Thursday, we have the Jokes Out Loud at the Comedy Zone. That's back this week. That show starts at 8 o'clock, hosted by Brandon Rainwater. $10 cover for audience members. Sign up for that is every Sunday night at 5 o'clock on the Jokes Out Loud Facebook page. Also, this is a new, series of shows that I'm going to start to shout out because I just went to it last week and it is awesome. Slice of Life. They host shows, I think, every week at different locations. This week, Slice of Life in Asheville is going to be at the Orange Peel. They have a show at 9 o'clock. Doors at 8:30 p.m., $15 at the door. It's going to be hosted by Cody Hughes, who's been on this show. He's an outstanding comedian, and featuring James Harrod. Also, there's an open mic. So if you want to try and go to the open mic, I just showed up and was able to get on, but I'd recommend messaging somebody ahead of time if you're going to make that drive. All right, this weekend we have our celebrity comic here in town, Ryan Davis, North Carolina native. He's going to be at the Comedy Zone all weekend. 2 shows on Friday at 7 and 9, 2 shows on Saturday at 6 and 9, and 1 show on Sunday at 7 o'clock. Tickets available at greenvillecomedyzone.com. All right, that's it for local comedy. Hope you guys have a fantastic week. I'm going to hit the pool, but for now, hope you enjoy my interview with Christian Williams. Here it is. This is Audacity.
Audacity. Oh.
Yeah. We're live.
Live at New Brooklyn Tavern, Columbia, South Carolina.
Christian Williams.
David Bakker.
Yeah. Cowboy.
Yeah,
Dude,
comedy cowboy.
How often have you incorporated costumes into your act?
If you're talking about how flamboyantly I dress, like 80% of the time.
I was going to go flamboyant. 80%?
80% of the time.
Okay.
I'm dressed like, I'm pretty much dressed like you can guess that guy's the comic in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess you're well, I appreciate you letting us use your space, man. Christian runs the show here, it seems like.
Partially, me and Leonard run the show together. So like I do like the drink specials and some of the promotion stuff, and then Leonard runs like getting the comics together if we bring in a headliner, stuff like that.
Right. So New Brooklyn Tavern, Columbia,
South Carolina.
That's where we're at, not Greenville.
Yeah. And
you how long have you worked here?
It's been like 6 or 7 months. So
okay.
Yeah. A lot of bartenders don't like working comedy nights, and so I was the only comic that was coming like consistently on Mondays who wasn't the host. And I'm good friends.
Why is that? Why do bartenders not like working comedy nights?
They're the worst. I don't like working comedy nights.
I don't know what I do.
It's like it's hard because like comics don't. I mean, you guys know this. You don't tip well. Like comics don't tip well.
That's true.
Normally, like it's rough. Like sitting through an open mic. Like imagine working an open mic. You know, like you're going for fun.
Yeah.
And you kind of leave.
I'm picturing them sitting behind the bar thinking like this is terrible, or like if there's comics that aren't doing well.
Yeah, especially like if you don't like comedy. Like I've learned like so this is a live music venue that we're at, and I don't like music.
Right.
So like when I work a metal show, I'm just mad for 2 hours
because it's just like constant noise.
And so like when a bartender works stand up and they don't like stand up, then it's basically just like
yeah. I guess it might be hard too, because like if you're a bartender, you know, you're you kind of have to be doing your job and not like to enjoy stand up. You kind of have to pay attention the whole time to follow the act or any jokes or whatever.
Yeah, and it's weird because like. So it's one of the things that like when I'm doing a show, if I'm doing a show in like a room where I can see the bartender, like if the bartender's looking up, I go like, oh, my set's going well. Because it's like a person is like looking up from working. That means like you're getting a good punch or whatever you're saying is like catching attention.
Sure. What kind of attendance do you guys usually get? We were talking about that a little bit earlier. You guys have gotten some momentum on the Mondays? Yeah,
so on our average Mondays when we're not like breaking them up between shows, I say we get like 10 to 15 to 20 people in here that aren't comics. Yeah, which is nice.
Dude, that's great for people who aren't comics listening. That's that's a treat, dude.
Yeah, because you're going to have 10 people that are also in the room who are comics, but they don't want to laugh. They don't.
Yeah, they're not. They're going to be stingy. But this is an awesome place, man. I really like the stage here. I think I told you I've performed here like once or twice on an open mic as COVID was easing up.
Yeah.
But the stage is great. Like the vibe on stage.
It
feels like a real, just I don't know what it is. The lighting or the
Yeah, so since it's a music venue, and I think since it's set up like a, so if you've never been, like, it's like for Greenville Comics, it's kind of like Radio Room.
Yeah.
But like, imagine Radio Room, there's not a wall where the bar is.
Exactly.
So like, when you're doing comedy, it cuts down on noise.
That's huge.
So like, when this room can be smaller than a room that's like has less people in there, but it feels so much more because everyone's paying attention to you.
Right.
Like, there's no like hiding behind the bar, kind of watching TV.
Yeah.
On the other side of a bar, like the comic is being heard everywhere.
Yeah, because that's our problem with Radio Room. There's a separation. It like comes out like a peninsula kind of, and like the people on the other side of the bar have no idea how loud they're being to disrupt the show.
Yeah.
Here, there's like just they're there.
Yeah, and normally it's harder to like talk. Like, people don't understand that. Like, it's weird because it's harder to talk through someone's set, especially when they're looking at you. Like, there's no wall, there's no nothing else. Like,
unless you're just a
I can see
asshole.
you. Yeah, and normally like those people, and also like I'm a comic and I work the bar, so like I'm not gonna let somebody sit there and be loud the whole night. Like, you're gonna like get called out for being loud quickly and realize how awkward it feels.
Do you call people out of their shit?
Yeah, I do.
You crack the whip pretty good?
Yeah, we normally don't have people get loud. Like, normally, if anything, we do 350 margaritas, so normally like somebody will get too drunk and then just be talking loud. Right. And I'll just be like, hey, you gotta be like quieter. Like,
yeah.
It's fine that you're doing side talk. It's just you're so loud.
Yeah. Dude, I have a hard time telling people to shut up. Or just like confrontationally. I get better at it.
Yeah, I think it's so weird, like, because people talk about how to handle hecklers on stage.
Yeah.
And I feel like...
Yeah, I have to develop that. Just doing more stand-up.
Yeah. And it's just, like, weird because, like, in my mind... So I work with kids, and, like, if you ever substitute or talk to front of kids, like, they interrupt you. And so, like, I just talk through it naturally. Like, most of the time, if you're making side comments... If it's not like at the level I'm at or distracting enough, I'm just gonna talk through you. Yeah. And a lot of times that kills the noise more than anything else. Because like when you
just talking through it.
Yeah, because it's like you
as the first line of defense. If that doesn't,
like because like I'm already. If you hear me, like I'm at a loud level anyway when I'm talking as a comic, and so for you to be like as loud as I am in the room, you're already being obnoxious. Probably.
Does that work for like, kids talking through it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because they'll eventually realize like most of the time they're just like people ramble because they want to like speak out. Yeah. Like most hecklers are just speaking out in the moment and it's just distracting. So like if you talk through it instead of engaging them, because most of the time when you engage someone who heckles you, they also feel confused. Like I don't know if you've had that. Well, you'll be like, what did you say? And then they act like they're shocked that, like, you heard them say something.
Yes. Yeah. Like, it wasn't quite to the level where they wanted you to talk back to
them. Well, they'll just say something. And then normally I'm just like, what did you, like, it was distracting enough for me to hear during the joke. Like, was it like if it's funny enough, I'll add it.
Sure. Sometimes I'll pause. You ever do that?
Yeah.
And wait for the whole room to notice that they're talking and being disruptive.
Yeah, that also works. It's just hard sometimes, like... In bars,
I know that's the right thing. It's just something I like felt like I should.
Yeah, I feel like it happens only in the comedy shows I've done where it's like a venue where they know it's comedy and everything. It doesn't happen as much. Right. In bars, normally when it happens, I'm just like, these people have no idea comedy's going on,
dude.
And like
those are the worst.
And so like normally I'll just try to be like if you're it's weird. You can hear it. Like I record all my sets, so you can hear. That if you talk at a certain level and a certain energy, the room naturally gets quieter as your set goes on.
Because you're commanding the attention of them, right?
Yeah, because it's just like, okay, there's a person talking. Like, eventually you're going to hear someone talking and be like, I'm being an asshole. Yeah. And stop. Yeah. I hope I can say that. Can I say
say asshole, fuck, whatever. Okay. What do you want to say?
I know you put it on YouTube. I know you put it on YouTube. And I know how quickly YouTube can get demonetized for you cursing and saying.
Monetized? I'm flattered you think this thing makes money, Christian. This is... For the love
it's
because
you're cursing. If you stop cursing, you can make some money. You can run some ads.
Oh man, you know how to do that? Have you done podcasting before, dude?
I've done like other people's podcasts. I've never done a podcast myself. Okay. But like during the pandemic, like I was studying so much. Like I was listening to comics and stuff talk all the time. That like you realize that like most of a podcast is just figuring out how to get marketable. We had a podcast come. Shout out to Bakker Flop. It's two comics out of Raleigh. Bakker Flop.
Bakker Flop. Shout out.
Two comics out of Raleigh. They came down and did a show here a week ago. But we were talking about how like they've made a lot of money by like reaching out to local sponsors. So they have like a coffee shop that sponsors them locally and someone else. And then like once you get sponsors, people don't understand that like that's how much more professional you look. Like the second you get a sponsor, like people are like, hey, somebody's already paying, so it must be worth some advertising money.
Even if it's all just kind of imaginary.
Like you could be my friend and you could give me money from your company, but people will be like, hey, that company's sponsoring him. He sounds more legit.
Do you have any idea based on that bop or flop one, like how much they're paying to sponsor?
I do not know how much.
I wouldn't care if it was like $10. I mean, I don't.
No, I don't know how much. I do know that they have like made enough. They saved for a year to do a tour. And they were able to pay for like most of their hotel rooms and stuff from that sponsorship money and ad money. So that's got to be pretty decent.
Yeah, I'd love to try and do that. Although the name of the podcast itself might be off-putting to some people.
BetterHelp will sponsor anybody.
BetterHelp,
Dude,
yeah.
Liquid Death, reach out to these guys.
Liquid Death. This is my first time drinking a Liquid Death, by the way. Are you sober? Do you drink?
Oh, I do drink.
You do drink?
I do drink a lot.
You're just doing this for me. So
no, I've been trying to so I realized that it's hard to drink healthy stuff for me. Like it's easy to drink when you go to a bar because you're socially drinking. But like during the day, I don't drink water or almost anything, period, unless I like have a taste for something. And so like recently I've been trying to find like kombuchas and waters that like make me want to drink them during the day.
You're just dehydrated, period.
Yeah.
Not like, okay.
Yeah, and so then like now I've been drinking more stuff and it makes me feel so much better.
You feel a lot better?
Yeah.
Okay. I definitely need to work on that because like I'll do, I have to get up, well I'm supposed to get up early, but I'll drink coffee a lot. And I'll just have like 4 cups of black coffee and then I won't drink anything else. Like I don't even have the urge to drink water. I'm like, you know,
it's hard to stay hydrated, man. Like I'm about to leave to go work a summer camp, and like that's the only time I drink water all the time. Yeah, because when you're outside in the heat, you just like
you got a canteen.
Every time you feel like a little heat on your, we have water fountains and stuff everywhere, but every time you feel a little heat, you're like, I need to get some water. Yeah, I need to put some water in my body.
But it's made a difference.
It has, man. Like it's crazy because like during the pandemic, I heard a lot of sober comics talk about when you get sober, how much better you perform. And I realized it's because like most comics when they get sober actually start to do other things besides just being sober. It's like they choose to eat healthy and they exercise. Yeah. And so I'm like,
you think their lives outside of this performance get more interesting too? Like they're just like, okay, I'm gonna try.
Well, like if you're
have more material from other places. Or
like it's like more peak performance. Like I think that like. So if you think about anything like your art, like you want to be like eating healthy and stuff like that, so your brain's at full capacity. So like, like if you're so many comics, I feel like work in the service industry, like me, where you drink and you go home and you wake up and then you go on another mic and you're drinking, and it's like you're not eating healthy or anything during the day, so you're not like feeding your body. Yeah. But like if you go for a run and you get some water in there, like it's weird because you feel more energy on stage. Yeah. And your body feels better, and then you just like. It helps the performances so much more.
And if you get a better performance, maybe you get more out of that and build your act better. Yeah. Huh. Well, yeah. The only thing I have going for me is not drinking, probably. I eat like shit and don't drink enough water. So, yeah. I have to do that. I have to do more of this Liquid Death thing. Well, good shit, man. So, okay, so you got your camp coming up, and you do this every summer, right?
Yeah, this is my 5th summer.
Okay, what's the camp and how? Like,
Trails End Camp in Pennsylvania.
What's it called?
Trails End Camp.
Trails Inc.
Yeah, Trails End. Okay. It's a 7-week camp, so the kids are there for all 7 weeks. It's like old school style. It's like your camp movies that you watch, like heavyweights and stuff like that. Like it's not a fat camp, but like. We go play other camps in sports. You are not allowed to have candy because we have so many allergies. So we do like a huge like candy day where we take all the kids' candy that they brought with them from home.
Just like heavyweights.
Yeah. They're kids hide them in Rubik's cubes. Like is
that part of it?
Nuts
like
stuff.
They smuggled in on purpose.
Oh yeah. Some parents like give them things to hide them in. Like it's crazy because like you'll like hear like because. Like kids say everything, and so they'll be like, "Yeah, so and so has like Skittles," and you're like, "Where he's hiding the kids his Skittles?" Will rat out the but they'll be like, they won't be like tell you. So then like I'll start watching a kid for a little bit, and I'll be like there was one kid I was like, he always goes and plays with his like Rubik's cubes at like the weirdest times. And so then one day we like a couple of us counselors played with it, and you solve it. And when you solve it, it opens up, and it's just like it's like a box, an empty box. Yeah. And I went like, oh, this is why he has one of these.
Yeah. So what grade did you say it was?
Our kids actually go all the way from 8 to 16.
Oh, shit.
So I've spent the summer working with the 13-year-olds, the 8-year-olds, and the 17-year-olds.
Okay. So the older kids probably get in a little trouble then.
Yeah,
that's old enough to where they could start to vandalize or like do crazy stuff. What's the craziest shit that's ever happened to you at camp?
Kids that I can say a story that I can say out loud.
We'll say names.
No, I my camp people watch everything I do. So
okay,
I have to figure out a good.
Want to edit out the assholes?
Oh no, they can hear me curse. Oh, so this is a fun one, but it's like one that we kind of allow. So there are camp traditions that we allow that are weird to most people.
Right.
But like our 8th grade boys get kicked out of the water park every year when we take them to Niagara Falls.
Okay.
So like you have to figure out, like they're trying to figure out how to get kicked out, and like you're trying to figure out what's the most efficient way to get them kicked out without like ruining everybody's day, right? Because it's a thing that you all know is going to happen, right?
Yeah.
And so if you're close enough with your kids like I was like, hey, I got it. Here's how you're going to do it.
Yeah.
You're just all going to go down this water slide at once. And they were like, yeah, that will be so much fun. And they were like, okay, we're going to go get everybody. And while they were doing that, I go up and talk to the water lifeguard at the top of the water slide. And I go like, hey, so all of my boys are going to come up here once and go down the water slide. Which one's the safest for them to do? And he was like, that one. And I was like, is there anything else I need to know? So
he didn't push back? Are they in on it too? The dudes that work there?
Well, like he's like, it's like a 18-year-old kid, and I'm basically looking at him like, hey man, this is gonna happen whether you want it to or not.
Those kids that work the waters, they don't give a shit.
Yeah, so I was just like, he was like, they won't actually get hurt because most of those things are safe. Like I used to work in an indoor amusement park. Like some of those things are so safe. So he's like, if they space it out about this much, you'll be good as long as none of them go like head first. And
right.
So then I go get my boys, and I go like, none of you can go head first, or like, and so then. They go.
What kind of slide is this, by the way? Is this like
it's like
open,
one, like it's
up top,
like it's a tall one. Like it's not a short slide, so it's like
is it wind?
Medium height. No, but it's a straight shot down.
Straight shot.
The other one's winding, but there's just a pool at the bottom with another lifeguard, and then like it opens up to the rest of the water park, lazy river, and everything.
Okay.
Lifeguard at the top forgets to tell lifeguard at the bottom what's happening. So like my kids are going. And all you hear come through the walk, he's like, what the fuck? There's just boys. There's just kids. They keep coming. What is going on? And he just goes, hey, man, just kick them all out. Like, they already know. Just kick them all out. And he's like, what? And he was like, just tell them they can't come back.
Yeah.
And, like, that was it. we all went and got kicked out of a water park.
Anybody got hurt?
Nobody got hurt.
No? I'm trying to think what else you could do. That's great.
To appropriately get kicked out of a water park,
could
not a lot.
Pee the pool?
You could pee in the pool. You could probably like do something in the lazy river.
You have to like pee into the pool, people to see that you did it.
Yeah, like
I'm trying to. Is it a myth, by the way?
If you pee in the pool, it turns a different color.
That's got to be a myth.
That's a myth.
Yeah,
wave pools are disgusting. They're gross. We go to a couple. Normally, like during the summer, we go to a water park at least once or twice.
Okay,
and it's fun to get in a wave pool, but it's like always the last thing I do because I'm just like, it's disgusting. I want to shower off after this and be done.
What makes the wave pool grosser? Is it because they recirculate the water?
I don't think that water circulates. So I think you're just sitting, and you got to think like it's not like as fast moving as everything else, and everyone's kind of just sitting in there.
Yeah, they're just.
And like when I think about kids peeing, that's what I think about kids peeing. Like at a water park, kids aren't gonna pee on a water slide. They're going too fast.
Yeah, bro, that was a South Park episode where the whole water became pee. Yeah, that is pretty gross. I do love water parks though, man. There's something cool about that, like as a summer camp deal. 'Cause like as a kid growing up, that was just part of it. Like going to a water park in the summer. Yeah, you kind of get to relive that a little bit.
Yeah, it's the best part of my job.
So you still love it, right? I mean, you've been doing it. You said 7 years.
It's 5 years. This is my 5th year. But like I've went to like Niagara Falls through camp. I went to Utah last summer for 10 days.
Yeah.
Like you get to do these things, and like the majority of my job is like, if you're a counselor, like day to day, you're going to do so many activities. It's not like, and like when you go to the activities, there's people there to lead them most of the time. So like you're just kind of chilling, making sure your guys don't get too rowdy. It's really about building relationships with your kids, and if you're able to do that, man, your summer's so easy. Yeah. Like you don't ever like I rarely yell at my kids because like when you get close to them, it's just like, you know, like the 13-year-old boys were so easy. Like we always talk about how easy it is to bond with the boys at camp, but literally it's like you meet a kid, you be like, hey, what's your favorite football team? You can go outside and throw a football for 30 minutes, and that kid like loves you to death. Yeah, absolutely. Is it religious camp or is it? No, it's not a religious camp at all. It's not? No. Most of our kids are Jewish, but that's like by heritage. Okay. Yeah, Jewish summer camps are a thing, aren't they? Yeah, it's like most deal. I dated a Jewish girl when I was in Atlanta, and she talked about the camp relationships Yeah.
We went to a wedding one time where the couple met at the camp and they had the wedding at the same camp they were.
Yeah, it's nuts like that. Like
That's
you
a big
meet
thing.
a couple of my kids' parents have met at our camp or at other camps.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the thing that all of them do. Like that's why I tell people like it's weird because like until you meet someone who does it, but like now anytime I meet someone who is partially Jewish from New Jersey or New York, and I'll be like, and I'll start talking around camps. I'm like, oh yeah, my friends went to like, I've met people in Colombia who I'll be like, oh my gosh, like I met a girl once when I was driving an Uber, and she was describing a camp, and I was like, hey, like I like coach basketball probably against your sister at this tournament you're describing. Yeah, because it's like that small of a world. Yeah,
yeah.
There's 30 camps in our area, but like you learn the names of them like pretty quickly because kids have friends at all of them.
Yeah, dude, it sounds so great too, honestly. Because when I was that age, between how old did you say, like up to 16 down to 8, yeah, there were a lot of summers like we would just make our own fun, but like we'd be bored a lot too, and my mom would be like, get out of the house, like go do something. But there's
rarely any boredom. Like you're there, like we have girls at our camp, like so we're a co-ed camp, so like
that's super
when you get
fun.
to that age you still get to hang out with like girls at your night activity.
Yeah, starting to get into the girls. And yeah, man, I went to one camp, it was Windy Gap. I don't know, have you heard of that one?
I've not.
It's somewhere in the Carolinas, and it was a Young Life camp, so it was a Christian camp. We went.
YO! Yeah, you guys do the milk challenge and all that while you were there.
Is that where you drink the gallon of milk over an hour?
Yeah.
I've done that for football camp.
Okay, YO is known for doing like really weird things at their camp and stuff. I know a lot of YO people. Like working with kids, like you learn like so there's camp people, but then like I know like YO people,
how is it weird, though?
Boy Scout people, because like so there's this. It's such a weird niche to get into, but there's this weird niche about Christian camp where their like level of excitement is like over everyone else's because they have to be like so happy and getting you roared up for Jesus.
Yeah,
that like they do the things like the milk challenge, or they'll have people eat a whole bunch of saltines, and it's like it's weird because it's a thing that works psychologically. And you see it happen at camps and other experiences, but like if you overwhelm people with energy and this, it's like college orientation week. That's what I tell people.
It makes the message resonate more when they're all amped up.
Well, like it's like you get stuck in everyone's in an emotional moment together. So like how like college orientation that first week, those first couple of days where you don't have class, and you like fall in love with some girl and like everyone's having the time of their lives. It's like that. It's like that energy.
But it's like artificial and sustained.
Yeah, and if you can catch it at a high enough high, then you go, oh my gosh, I can immediately make these kids feel this moment where like we're gonna throw something big at you.
Yeah.
So like that's why you get like those Friday night services, which I've been a part of because I've done Christian stuff where like they're at such a level of high energy and these kids are like, oh my God, I've never felt like this before, and I'm like, yeah, dude, I've been.
And
like,
they attribute that to the message versus the artificial. Dude. Yeah. Let me think of some other shit we did at the Young Life camp. We did like this obstacle course in the middle of the night where we were like going through mud and shit and in the side of the mountain. There was like a belly flop contest also in the middle of the night at like 1 a.m. at the pool. That was fun as hell. I mean, all this stuff was great, but it's an interesting.
Oh yeah, they want you to have fun. Like that's the thing. Like they want you to so much have fun, and that's like what. So like I used to work Christian camps, and that's the part that made me stop is because I was just like, hey, like I want the relationship part. Like I tell people like sometimes you have to have a bad day at camp, or sometimes my kids see me have a bad day, and it's like real, and kids need some of that. Like
it can't be all fake.
Yeah, I tell people like I was in charge of 17-year-old girls. They would come in and cuss me out and have a whole thing about it, and then like
why
they go and they who knows sometimes
like to a boy or
well like it's anything can happen like when you're dealing with teenagers and like you're living together for 7 weeks, and I'm like, and so like one day I'll be like, hey, like you can't get your towels, or I'll be like, you can't shower as early as you want to, and you're frustrated and you snap in the moment and we have like a bad moment, but then like I'm able to talk to you through that, which is like a hard moment that like Christian camps try to avoid, or a lot of camps try to avoid.
I could see that,
but like
you have the hard conversation that deepens the relationship. You get more out of it with the kids.
Yeah, some of my like half of my kids have told me they hate me at some point. The kids that I'm closest to, like most of them have told me like they hate me or thrown something at me at some point.
Yeah, well, that's kind of you play basketball.
Yeah,
so it's kind of like a coach relationship where like your coach is going to be your best friend every time.
Yeah,
but you kind of have this understanding like if your coach has a relationship with you, cares about you. tell you when you screw up?
Yeah, like I think it was when I played college as well, and when I played like my first
basketball
year, I played my first year in college, like that's when you learn that like you can reach this level of like anger with somebody for frustration, but like if you are two people that can handle yelling it out, it's fine.
Yeah.
Or like there were times where like I rarely use my temper, and I like snapped on my coach one time, and I remember he's yelling and I'm yelling, and then we both were done. We were like good, like it was just like it was like fine.
What level
and,
did you play at?
So I played D3, and then now the school I'm at is NAIA.
Okay.
The last school I played at.
I played D2 football in Michigan.
Oh, see. Where do you play at?
Hillsdale College.
Okay.
So I don't know if you heard of Grand Valley State. They're like the biggest university up there that was in our conference. But yeah, small liberal arts college though. We used to be NAIA like decades ago, and then we bumped up to D2 more recently. But yeah, man, that's sweet. You're a college athlete, dude.
Yeah.
I like college athletes that do stand up.
Yeah, it makes us like it's weird because comics like talk about like the grind, and I'm like, this grind is so easy. Like if you've been doing athletics your whole life, like driving 2 hours to a mic is nothing. I've driven 2 hours to go do a college basketball tryout.
I'm so happy. I can't figure out like people think I'm crazy for driving to Columbia or Asheville, like wherever I go. But I'm like, this is no big deal. I drive all the time.
Dude, I've driven
that's maybe why. I've
driven 4 hours to go get looked at by a basketball coach who like wasn't going to look at me age, and I paid money to do that. Like,
right.
At least when I get to do comedy, I'm having fun. Yeah, like I've spent so much money into basketball that like it's easy to sometimes put money into comedy, which is weird because like I guess like when you think about athletics, like people think of it that way. Like if you're paying money to go to a gym and to buy stuff, and I'm like, if I spend a certain amount of gas money every month, or if you spend money on this equipment, like this is the same amount as buying basketball shoes. You've bought equipment,
and if I buy it, I'm gonna freaking use it.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna, I think the work ethic thing of just like going to mics is like going to practice. Like, I'm more naturally Is there somebody coming?
I think there is somebody coming.
Okay,
it sounded like there was. Let me go check. I'll be right back.
Yeah, Christian's directing traffic for his going away party show tonight. It's awesome. Dude, so, okay, that's awesome you're an athlete. So, I wanted, because I never get to talk about stand-up with somebody who's played a college sport before. I mean, do you feel like the same kind of excitement before you go on stage as like a game day kind of situation?
Dude, it's so to me, it's way more exciting, and I think it's because of
stand-up's more exciting?
Yeah, and I think it's because, like, it's weird, like I wasn't a naturally talented basketball player, so my whole thing was like working hard all the time.
Yeah.
And I spent so much time grinding and working hard for like little moments of success.
Right.
Or like even like when I was like my last year playing, like I started like the second half of the season, but like you're still battling for that certain spot. So you never really get to have fun. Like I never really had fun before a game because you're thinking about the game and being competitive and get ready to play, and then like sometimes if you're playing good, you may have fun in that moment, but like you're still like going after it.
Yeah.
Or like now, like with comedy, like I'm like, this is even if I'm anxious, I'm like, this is about to be fun. And then at some point, it's fun on stage.
Yeah. Right.
And so then you're getting to enjoy it, and it's like the whole experience to me is a lot more enjoyable. But like there are so many things that I've learned from athletics that transfer over into me getting ready to do sports.
Sure.
That was the door that time. That's probably Keegs.
Yeah.
What's up, Keegs?
What's up, man?
Those are fake candles. Keeg, hold on, I gotta tell. Keeg, can you set up the cups? That's the only thing I forgot to do for the bartenders, and put the tip jars out.
Yeah, dude, that's great. The going on stage thing, like I didn't start doing stand up till I was 31, and since finishing college and starting stand-up, there wasn't anything I'd found in between there that simulated like the adrenaline of like going on stage, the nervousness of like a game day situation, and that's been super addicting to me. And I agree too. Football. I mean, did you like basketball, like practice and stuff?
I loved it. Like I'm a competitive person, so I loved it. But like it's a different fire that's in you. Like it's like. It's like I don't know, like it's weird because like it hasn't come out of me in comedy where like where like you're competitive and you're competing. Like I was a chippy guy, so like I'm bumping into you, I'm talking to you, I'm barking at you.
Sure.
And it's like you're getting this competitiveness out of the other person. While like comedy, the energy is completely different for me. Where I'm just like,
it has.
We're kind of having fun. We're kind of rocking and rolling together.
You can't like just cuss out the audience.
Well, like where it's weird because like I'm bringing the same amount of energy, but like it's two different focuses and where the energy goes.
Sure. Yeah, I kind of feel like with football I was kind of similar. I did not have a lot of natural ability. I was slower than most people, and I was also super skinny. So I was always insecure about those two things and having to work at it super hard. So the work ethic kind of came through, but with stand-up on stage, or with football, like the grind of it, I hated practice. That's what I was gonna say. I hated practice. I had to take naps before practice because I dreaded going, dude. But stand-up, it's more fun across the board. Before, during, and after.
Oh, see, no, I'm a practice guy. Like, I'm a practice guy because, like, practice to me was, like, fun. Like, we're yelling before. You get into it, you can compete
basketball
during the drill.
Yeah,
I feel like it's way different than football, like, from what I've seen, because, like, you're still, like, interacting with your guys in a way, and it's still, like, it's so much more, I feel like, camaraderie, while football is, like, split between, like, offense and defense and special teams.
You're with your position groups. Those parts of practice suck when you're just, like, I played D-line, and then I played linebacker as well. When you're just doing individual with your position group, that part sucks. And it's just, it's freaking summer, you're outside, it's like 100 degrees, and you get your toe stepped on, or you get your finger jammed, and like there's like you get tons of injuries that are not like worthy of sitting out. You just grind through it. But 11 on 11 is fun. That's probably the most fun part about football, when you actually are like, oh yeah, this is why we play the game.
Yeah, when you're getting to hit some people and make contact.
Basketball's like that too. I mean, drills, I played basketball in high school. I don't know that I loved the drill aspect of basketball. I more enjoyed like
no, the 5-on-5 is where you get to it, and you really get to. So I coach, I assistant coached, and I head coach JV 2 years ago. It's weird because 5-on-5 is like where you get to like see a lot of those things.
Yeah.
And so like the hard part about it from the perspective, and it's kind of the same thing with comedies, you have to figure out the drills that work better to make you better in that 5-on-5.
Yeah.
And it's hard because like in comedy you really don't get a coach. Like you can have mentors and things like that, but like
practice is the game day kind of almost.
Yeah, like open mics, and like that's when I realized like you just have to hit open mics all the time.
Yeah.
Like if you want to play a sport, you will play every single time that there are people playing pickup soccer. So why not go out and do a mic?
Yeah.
And like sure, you suck and you score like 6 own goals your first time playing because you don't know how to do it. Keep going.
Yeah.
Like you have to figure out the awkwardness and get past it.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, that's cool, man.
Or don't ever figure it out and bomb the rest of your life. That also is possible.
Yeah. Yeah. It is possible. It's strange why that happens. Because you'd think as long as you weren't delusional, you'd understand the reactions for what they were. People just can't tell people aren't laughing. Or
I just think it's one of those things. I don't know. Like I've always asked to get in those people's heads. But I think it's like one of those things that if you're certain of something in yourself, like it's hard for people to convince you that you're not.
Yeah.
So if you think you've written a good joke, there's still that thing in me sometimes where like I wrote a really good joke and no one laughs at it and you go like,
yeah.
But then I realized from watching, so I record everything, and so like you realize from watching back like, oh, that joke may be really well written, it has no rhythm to it, it has no cadence to it. Oh, that joke may be really well written, but like where's the context to make like the joke even funnier?
Yeah.
And so like how
am I saying it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Interessante, Christian.
There's so much about, like I say, if you're not recording, if I can give one advice to comics out there, if you're not recording your sets, at least every other set, you got to.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Do you watch them back after?
I watch my sets like
right after, next day.
A weird amount of times. Like I'll sit back and watch the same set probably. If it's a 5-minute set, I'll probably watch it for 30, 45 minutes.
Wow.
And I'll listen to different jokes. But like it's also because like I try to do the new joke every week.
Yeah.
So like when you're trying to pump out new jokes all the time, I'm like, okay, this part worked literally half the time.
Like a new 60
This
seconds?
worked yesterday and this didn't work today. Right? Yeah. And like it's like you have to listen to different things all the time.
Yeah.
And like then I'll like start focusing on different people in the crowd.
And
like,
also if it worked, even if it worked perfect, you want to commit to memory exactly how you did it.
Yeah.
I like to do that too. Just to make sure I capture like how, because sometimes I don't like to go up with a plan as much. I like to just try, and if it works, then I'll be like, okay, I'll do it that way again.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be too committed to one direction necessarily, so it comes out naturally. But yeah, dude, that's good advice for the comics out there. So, dude, how long have you been doing stand-up in total?
This is my 4th year.
4th year?
4 years in.
How do you feel? 4 years.
Pretty good.
Feel pretty good. No burnout yet. No sort of like.
No, like it's so much fun. Like I started comedy because it was fun to me, and I only do it because it's fun.
Yeah.
And the second,
so you're almost finished with year 4, or you're like.
I'm just kind of starting 4.
Okay,
this is year 4, the beginning.
3 in a few months. So yeah, no burnout. You feel good, and that's 3-4 years of like, how many mics a week? Like. 4 or 5,
probably 2-3 mics a week because we only have 2 here.
Okay.
I really didn't start traveling until last year.
I gotcha.
But now it's probably 2 to 3 mics a week. Or I do the last 2 months I've done a show pretty consistently every week. So you're talking like a couple mics in a show.
Hell yeah.
Which is a good like great rhythm if you can get into that.
Yeah, absolutely. And you love it. No plans on ever stopping.
No, not unless it stops being fun. Like for me, it was never about like making money or getting to a certain level of fame. It's like been like I set little challenges for myself, and like you watch your progress. And if you want to grow in something, like I think that's the like athlete part about it is like I still like want to get better at basketball. When I play, I still work on the things that I'm bad at.
Right. So it's not like you're going to the NBA, but
you
still want to get better.
Yeah. And then like so like same thing with comedy. Like why would I do something and not, if I enjoy it and have fun with it, not work to get better? Because when you do get better, you have so much more fun in the enjoyment of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, comedy's weird too. It's like something you can't top out at. Like I don't know, like you can't master it completely.
It's weird because like you get better at telling jokes. Like I tell jokes differently. Like I feel like when you watch someone who does it for 10 years, even if they're not the funniest person in the world, there's so much polish to it. There's so much to it where they're
just how they are on stage. It's so weird. They just wear it sort of.
And you hope to get to that point at some point.
Mm-hmm. So how is this break going to suit you? Do you get antsy? Do you stand up at camp when the kids are...
No, I come back like more energized because like I'm coming off of camp energy. Which like today during the day, like, you know, like during a normal day, even when I work, like I'm at work, whatever,
Yeah.
Like when I come back in August, I'm coming off of like screaming, hollering, yelling, playing soccer all day.
Yeah.
And so like when I sit in a room and I wait to do stand up, like that 15 minutes of energy is like a full day I'm giving you in that little bit of time. Yeah. And like
so it's a healthy break.
Yeah, it's a healthy break.
Yeah. That's good that you get that too, because I kind of wonder about it. Like I try to hit mics every week, but sometimes I do feel a little tired, and like I almost feel guilty if I take a few days off. Yeah,
like I haven't missed Art Bar is on Tuesdays and New Brooklyn on Monday. I haven't missed a mic probably since I've been back from camp, a Columbia mic.
Crazy. This last fall, basically.
Yeah,
last August.
I think I missed one Tuesday night. Probably for basketball or something, but I think it probably is important to manage that so you're not like just, burning yourself out. Well, like I'll also think of like Mondays and Tuesdays as my mic night. So like if you have 2 mics in your city that you want to go to, like think of that like as a book club or anything. Like I'm like those 2 mics, I'll be there. Like most people, it's not weird if you heard someone say like I haven't missed my book club in 2 years. Right. Like you shouldn't really miss a mic. It's every. You know, if you have a death or something in the family or something major to handle, but like if you're just like, oh man, I had a tummy ache. Yeah, dude. Yeah. I'm kind of addicted to people when they make excuses like that. You can hear them coming on like, yeah, that's a bullshit excuse. Got off work a little late. Come on. Show up to the mic. But yeah, man, that's cool. So where are you from originally? I didn't even ask you that. I'm from Asheville, North Carolina.
Asheville?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you ever do comedy up there?
I did my first show up there a couple months ago. I did my first show for my mom.
Okay.
Yeah.
How'd that go?
Amazing. It was It was like not the funniest show I've ever done. It's the most emotional, rewarding show I've ever done. My mom was there. A lot of my high school friends. Like it was like a room full of people that knew me.
Did you get nervous?
Not really, because like most of my friends like understand my humor, and like most people, my mom had like at that point, my mom has TikTok, so like she has seen like some of my bits there. So I'm like, no one's coming into this blind of like who I am.
Yeah.
And like I like told jokes in my senior speech in high school, so like it's not foreign like who I am to those people. So like it was fun.
Senior speech? Were you valedictorian?
No, everyone. I went to a tiny private school. Everyone got to give a speech.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We do it the day before or the night before graduation, the Friday night before.
I gotcha.
Everyone gives the 2-minute
So
speech.
Was that technically your first stand-up performance then, where you told jokes on stage at graduation?
No, I hosted a movie. We had a movie festival that year. I hosted.
And in high school?
Yeah. I also did improv in high school. So we did like a lot of improv performances. And I got to make a lot of jokes. Like, I got to do a lot of announcements in high school, so I make a lot of jokes doing that.
Okay. You've had this in you for a while then.
Yeah, but it's just like, I don't know. It's weird because like I never wanted to try it because I was like, stand up is for like the greats. Like when you think about the greats, like I didn't think about like so for people who love stand up, I feel like you never really think about the open micers.
You don't.
You don't think about this middle grade of people.
It's true.
You think about like the dudes you see who I'm just like, that dude has written a joke that's perfection. Like that's been grinded over years and that's witty and it's witty, it's goofy, it's all the things you want a joke to be. And then you forget like there are dudes who are like who go out and make money doing this who like recycle jokes from the internet. Like it's not like as high as you hold the art form, I think sometimes. Like it'd be like if I was a musician and I like only thought of music as like Queen and the Beatles. Like like there were local bands playing in your Buffalo Wild Wings that you may be as good as. Yeah, absolutely. That's how I viewed it too, man. Like you'd see Jerry Seinfeld and you'd see these famous whoever. There seems like such a gap between like how they got there. Like I didn't even know how they got there. I don't know what they did. I don't know what the open mic thing was. We gotta watch time. Yeah, we probably got about 5 minutes. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, man, I didn't start realizing or putting that together either until much later. Can you tell me about your first open mic? So my first open mic was here. We're in the room. We're in the room. My first open mic was. Dude, I want to hear about that story as we close up. I'll tell like the whole complete story. So it's actually a good transition from how I went from that mindset to trying stand-up. Okay. I had a friend who wanted to try stand-up before he moved to Austin. He actually ended up doing stand-up out there for a while and doing improv. But we came to a mic here. And like my first time ever seeing stand-up. And you watch the open mic and like 4 people went up there and they're like, ooh. And then you sit there for the rest of the 15 comics and you go, oh, they let anybody get up there and they're going to give you your 5 minutes. So 4 people were good, you're saying? Yeah. Okay. It was like 4 people were like good to where you think of stand up. Like a couple people had jokes that'll make you laugh here and there, but you're sitting there like 15 were like and like I tell people beginners. Yeah, if you don't think you can do stand up, legitimately if you're watching this or if you're like I don't know if I should try, go to your local open mic, same open mic, go like 6 weeks in a row and just watch. And then you watch the worst people and you go, "Hey, if I spent time and write 5 minutes of what's funny to me, someone's bound to laugh." And like I was in a room, like I used to come here and not speak to anybody. I would come sit over there and like watch the mics. Sometimes I bring a friend and I just watch. And I was like, you know what? One day I was like, I'm just gonna try. And I was like, I'll write 5 minutes that are funny to me. And if they don't work, then I won't ever do stand up again. None of these people will ever know. Like it'll be a secret that dies with me. How long was it between when you came to the first one to watch and when you actually went up? Probably like 4 or 5 weeks. Okay. Yeah, dude, we get a lot of that with the open mics in Greenville. You'll see somebody who's just kind of around, and they'll gradually, eventually talk to one of the comics, and then they'll be like, okay. So, how did your first set go? It went pretty well. I don't think that I killed. Like, it went pretty well. Like, especially because like I was doing. What's up? What's up?
Busting up into your podcast. Yo, Christian Williams is the best ever. David's the shit, and I'm definitely not killing myself.
Shout out. What's
Scott
up?
actually watches the pod.
Scott, you do?
Yeah, shout out to Scott Fowler Media.
The episode of the guy from the comedy store, the dude who plays the guitar.
Dan Danner. He watched the Dan
Oh,
Danner
yeah. Hell yeah. Dude, thanks for...
shout out to Scott Fowler Media, 12 Oak Estate Studios.
Scott.
Palmetto Moose Productions. All right. Palmetto Moose. It's not an official company.
Check
it's not
the description.
LLC,
I'm going to try and put that on there. Yeah.
He'll be shooting everything tonight, so he'll shoot
hell
tonight.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Well, good stuff, man. I know we got to get to this show. So you already said some advice. You got anything to shout out personally? Social media, stuff like that?
Follow me on Instagram, Sup I'm Christian on Instagram. I'm Sup I'm Christian literally on everything, like Venmo, Cash App, everything. So Sup I'm Christian. I post a new joke every week. That may or may not stop when I go to camp. I got to look at the catalogs and see how many jokes I have.
That's a content schedule you've gotten on? One new joke every week?
Yeah, one new joke every week. I think I missed today, but I'll post one tomorrow. But like I'm like 20 weeks in.
Hell yeah.
I think I missed
so
one.
You'll post a video of that joke on Instagram, or you'll post like a tweet of the joke?
Every Monday I post a tweet. I mean, every Monday I post a joke on Instagram.
Okay.
Normally a
Is
reel.
Is it one
you
performed or?
Yeah, it's a new joke. So it's a completely separate joke than the week before. Like Some of them are old ones. Some of them are new ones, like fresh from that week. But like, I try to keep it.
Dude, that's a
that
great
you've
idea.
never
That's the
seen.
first one I've heard of that, where you like do a new joke every week.
Yeah.
I obviously do the podcast as my content accountability thing.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. It makes you write a lot more, and it makes you go out a lot more.
Yeah, I'm sure that
Like
would
I'll
be hard.
barely miss a joke on a Tuesday, and I'll drive to Savannah on a Thursday.
Because you got to make sure you perform it well.
Yeah.
All right, dude.
And here's my boss. Hey, Mike, I'm wrapping up a podcast. What's up?
Show's canceled.
Okay, yes,
It's
I'll make
over.
sure to cut that on as well. All right, thank you.
Yeah, while Christian's wrapping up, I was trying to come up with a new word for cool.
Yeah, what
Like,
is it?
Man, that car's cool. I was thinking like, man, Christian's hat is hot laundry. And Christian came up with a better
I like it's like folded sheets.
Hot laundry.
It's like folded sheets. You know,
Hot
folded sheets is like
laundry.
something that's so nice. Oh, is it like fitted sheets? Fitted sheets.
Feta cheese or fitted?
Fitted sheets. Fitted sheets are the best sheets.
Fitted sheets. I'm an idiot.
Fitted sheets are the best sheets. Are
talking
we
about-
agreeing
I
on
heard
that?
I heard cheese. All right. All right, dude. Christian, we'll let you go. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you, David.
Yeah. Good luck at camp. Follow him. He's hilarious. Yeah, dude. See you guys next time.
Peace.